Laser sights will make you a more accurate and confident shooter by providing visual feedback on sight alignment and trigger control. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
The #1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. Glad that you could be with us. Of course, we're just continue talking about guns and shooting sports and which guns are hot and which guns are not, and just basically having fun. I mentioned earlier that we shot our buddy Art Pollard at Amano Chocolate. You got to look it up. Amano Chocolate. Art's a long-range shooter. We were out at his place making some chocolate with him. That was very cool. And then he made us up some blocks of, if you will, ballistic gelatin out of custom artisan chocolate. And we went out to the range and we blew up 145 pounds of $10 an ounce artisan chocolate. Yes, we are nuts. Yeah, but it's fun. We did a lot of ballistic testing and that stuff. Just, the silly stuff we do for our TV shows, Gun Venture. And by the way, that whole new season starts, I guess, like the first week of July, coming right up. You're going to want to see it. We've changed it up a good bit. It's a lot of fun. We always like to get a read on what's going on in the market. That it would be not the stock market, but the gun market. Which guns are hot, which ones are moving, what's going on. So to help me out with that, I always call my buddy Johnny Dury over at Dury's Guns. Johnny's joined us right now. Hey, Johnny, how are you?
I'm doing real good, Tom. How are you?
I am good, but I'm going to admit I am setting you up, my friend.
Okay.
All right, I got to read you. We had you already scheduled on the show, okay? So 2 days ago, I get an email. This comes out of the blue, a guy I've never heard of before, all right? I got to read you this email. It says, Tom, my name is Mike Guerreri from Huntsville, Alabama. I'm in San Antonio visiting my lady, and I've heard you talk of Dury's Gun Shop many times. I listen to your podcast every Monday morning. I finally got a chance to go by Dury's, and I met a very nice lady named Laura, who is the general manager. Laura was very helpful introducing me to Johnny Dury. Johnny dropped what he was involved in and gave my buddy and me the $1.50 tour. Johnny is everything you've always said he was and more. He showed us the entire operation from one end to the other. Johnny also showed his many rare collectibles, including the first gun ever made by Sam Colt. He said I was like a kid in a candy store. And then he says, because Johnny treated me like family, I will consider all my future purchases with Dury's Gun Shop in mind, and I will give them first bid for my business. That's what you do, my friend.
Yeah, that's what we do. It's that's just the way we are, Tom. And anybody that wants to come and see how we do it, we're always glad to stop and take the time to do it. And that's what we feel like sets us apart from the other gun shops in the country. We really care about the people and really want them to understand how we do it and why we do it, and do it all for the right reasons. And it shows through as it did with him.
Well, I don't want anybody to think that I made this stuff up. So right now, let's bring in Mike, who wrote me that email 2 days ago. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Well, hey, Mike, this is Johnny. You remember Johnny you just spent some time with.
Absolutely. Incredible person, and just a stellar, experience being in that gun store. Felt like I was just being handled, just the way you want to be when you're a customer somewhere. It
was pretty interesting, Tom. We started showing him some super collectible guns that we've had the privilege to buy for some of our big time investors, and he got to see a factory engraved gold plated Henry rifle that we just bought for one of our customers, and he started shaking pretty good and when he started to handle that gun, but it was a spectacular piece.
Yeah, it was a marvelous experience.
Mike, it is. Mike, you've heard me talk about it on the radio before. This is a family business. This is a multi-generational family business. You get that feel when you walk in there, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And what's great about it is the staff is all they're an excellent team. You sit there and probably more knowledge in that one building than I've ever seen in the gun industry. Just the guys that display the guns and hand them to you, they all hand them to you right. And, it's they can give you all the history and everything. It's just unbelievable. It was an experience that I'll never forget.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to write me and letting me bring you in and surprise Johnny. I did bushwhack you with this one, Johnny, but I didn't think you'd mind.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, we really enjoyed having Mike and his friend there the other day, and it's just always our pleasure to let somebody that spend their time, that's heard about us, that they're going to take time out of their day to come see us. We're going to make sure that we let them know how we do it and try to let them understand the ins and outs of the gun business. And I always start, and I take them back to the back and start with, hey, this is where the product comes in, and then take them through the whole process of it and get them all through the back rooms, and then they can understand what goes on behind the scenes. And that's some of the things that people never realize, is how much it takes behind the scenes to run a successful business. And so they always seem to like that. And, we do that. If anybody wants to come in and they're in from anywhere and they want a tour of it, all they have to do is come in and say, hey, I'd like a tour of it. We'll be glad to do it for them.
Fabulous. Hey, Mike, look, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. I know you're going to, when you get back to San Antonio, you'll be back at Dury's.
Oh, absolutely. And that'll be around the 4th of July.
There you go. All right.
So
sounds good.
And thanks again, Johnny.
In, Mike. Thanks a million. Sure appreciate you.
Johnny, I know. Look, I'm just going to say this. Anybody, if you get to San Antonio, you got to go buy Dury's Guns. You got to check it out. Nicest place, nicest people, and knowledgeable people. All right, so what are you seeing out there? What's hot in the gun world right now?
Well, right now, Tom, the suppressor sales are through the roof, and the guns that go on with them. Everybody trying to get in all before that new 41F law comes into effect in July. We saw 4 times the business in May that we see in an average May with it. And people that have the trust that want to get in before they've got to be fingerprinted and photoed and all of that. We had a guy come in the other day, and he said, I'm just going to buy one for every gun I think I'm ever going to need to put it on, because I don't want to go through all that in the future. And he bought 20 suppressors. Just spent a fortune in there. But I mean, just people who have never, they say, yeah, I need to do that. I need to get it done. And, had a guy the other day said it, and I said, well, you may as well just get it started now. He bought 2 308 suppressors, a 223 one, and a 22 long rifle. And he goes, that'll take care of me, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. And so,
and for those who don't know, this new rule is not going to be a big deal if you're buying it individually, but if you're buying it through a trust, it is going to be a big deal. You want to try to get in before the grandfather kicks in. That's July 14?
July 18th is, I believe, what it's going to do. But we're really going to make it easy, Tom, for the people that you already have the trust. We're in the process, and we'll have the fingerprint machines there. We'll have the photo picture-taking machines there, and have everything where we can handle it and make it easy. We're not going to have anybody have to go off and go get something done here and something else there. It's going to be a one-stop shop, and we're going to make it easy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what you do. You make it easy. So that's terrific. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I knew that suppressors were hot because everybody's jumping on that. And, you know the deal. I like it. Chris Serino says, hey, it's like tattoos. Once you get one, you want a bunch more. So
that's right. That's right.
Suppressors. That's what happens with suppressors.
Yeah, our data shows that after the guy buys one, within 2 years, on average, he owns 4 of them, is kind of what our data shows over the last 6 years worth of keeping those records. That average person, once they buy one, within 2 years, they'll own 4.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what else is going on? What else are you seeing?
We're seeing the collectible business start to come back up a little bit. Actually been pretty good for this year with it. The price of oil, it hit rock bottom a couple months ago with it, and started to make a little bit of a surge back up and crowding around 50. And we're seeing some people that are, starting to think, well, we need to do something and get something in for investments. And so we've seen that do pretty well over it. The other deal is we're starting to see the first mini rush of people starting to buy the entry level or the affordable ARs while their prices are normal before the elections coming on. So there's still some supply out there. The prices of ammo and the prices of ARs are where they ought to be right now, and there's some good deals on them. And we're just telling the people, if you're going to do it, it could get crazy if they start acting like Hillary's going to start leading in the polls. There's no telling what's going to go on with it. So we've seen I'd say a mini rush starting into that area of it.
And the thing is, what people need to understand is that when you say it can get crazy in 24 hours, and the thing just starts taking off on you, and all of a sudden you're behind the curve. Hey, Johnny, hold on a second there. I'm going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to talk about other guns that are hot, what's going on, what's selling. And if you have any questions for Johnny Dury of Dury's Guns, you can call right now, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. Be right back.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
Laser sights increase confidence, regardless of experience level. Whether you're learning the fundamentals, a seasoned shooter, or simply overcoming aging eyes, laser sights provide instant feedback, providing immediate confidence and enjoyment for a new shooter. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
When you get a chance to talk to a guy who's truly a walking encyclopedia about guns, you want to stop and take the time to do that. When I have a question, my go-to guy is Johnny Dury, because Johnny knows weird stuff. Johnny, you just like are this esoteric guy. You got all this weird knowledge bouncing around in your head.
Well, that's just from all the different guns that we have to deal with on a daily basis. You never know if somebody's going to bring in their Marlin Model 60 or they're going to bring in a Colt Patterson the same day. So, we try to, if we don't know it, we try to learn about it and try to have some kind of knowledge base on it, because you just never know what you're going to do, and you never know what the next collection's going to hold. And so
the knowledge is everything, isn't it? The knowledge is everything.
It really is.
When you're buying collector stuff.
It really is, Tom. The big deal is there's so many fakes out there right now in the market of Colts and old Winchesters. We travel the country buying for some big collectors and investors, and the big deal is they hire us on a fee basis to go make sure that the guns that are up for sale are what they want, what they really are. And God, the amount of fakes that we've seen in the last 2 years is just astronomical. So, you got to really stay up with that stuff. And especially the rarer they get, the more those guns are getting faked.
But by the way, Michelle, our call screener, just checked. July 13 is that date, that crossover date for the deal there. So, okay.
Yeah, I just had Laura, my general manager, text me and tell me it was the 13th. Make sure I got it straight. So she's looking out for us. Thanks, Laura, for that. Right. I appreciate it.
We both have our smarter ladies taking care of us.
I guarantee you. Yeah, she makes us look good all the time there.
Yeah, I hear you. Laura's a Sharpie. All right, so if you're advising somebody who's thinking, okay, I've got some money. I'm not making any money on my money in the bank or anywhere else, and I don't like the stock market. I'm going to put money into guns. And right. I've talked to you about this, and it can be a good thing, but where do they need to be? What do they need to know? I mean, they're not going to go like buy a new gun over the counter and hope that thing appreciates it, are they?
Yeah, I have people that come in that sit down and say, I want to start collecting guns as investment. Where do I do? And the first thing that I tell them is, let's pick something that you like. If you're a Belgian Browning person, or if you're a Winchester or a Colt person, or if you're a World War II person, let's start with something you like or you have interest in. And then the best advice that we have for them is you buy the highest condition, highest grade, whatever you like, gun that you can afford. Because the top 1% of the guns in any category are going to be the ones that appreciate at the fastest rate. And we try to tell them you're better off at the end of your collecting to have 10 to 20 or 30 spectacular guns than to have 100 fair guns. So the highest grade, highest condition that you can afford and whatever you like is where we start with.
So just to put a point on it, rather than buying 10 different $1,000 guns, if you buy one $10,000 gun that is spectacular and top of the line, that's going to do more for your money, your investment value, than the 10 mediocre or average guns.
Absolutely. Or two $5,000 guns. Two $5,000 guns or one $10,000 gun, for your investment dollars, those are always going to increase at a higher rate. As in collector cars, as anything, the rare or the highest condition you can deal with is always going to appreciate at the higher rate.
How do you know when something's a fake?
One of the biggest deals, especially on Winchesters, if you'll get a Surefire, one of those high-intensity LED lights, you can take those things and shine them on the barrels, shine them on the receivers, and I tell you what, that when they start re-bluing them or when they start touching them up, man, that flashlight doesn't lie. It's amazing how many we've done with that. And I'll tell you the other thing that we did, especially on Winchesters, with the internet now, with all of the auction houses that keep the records on everything. So let's say we get this super rare Model 70, and we've had this several times. We'll take that serial number and just put it in Google, and this thing may be a super grade carbine 250 Savage, which is just rare and worth fortune. Put it in there, and that thing will show up being sold as a 270 at Rock Island or James Julia 2 years ago. So we can tell for sure that the thing sold as a 270 or 30-06. We catch a lot of them that way, and I would challenge everybody on super rare guns. Just enter the serial number in Google and see if it wasn't originally something else. We've caught a bunch of fakes that way.
Wow. Well, that's where I like your idea of pick an area that you like already, because you're going to be more knowledgeable and you're going to study. If you say World War II is my thing, you're going to become a quasi-expert on that, and you'll be able to pick these things out better, right?
Well, and it's just, if you're going to have to do it, you may as well have fun doing it also. I mean, we can all go buy Exxon Mobil stock or Apple stock or whatever, but it can be a good investment on it, but that's no fun. So at least in the gun deal, the treasure hunt is there, and you've got something that you can show somebody. You can go buy $10,000 worth of Apple stock, and who are you going to show your buddy that? You go take a $10,000 Colt single action. At least you got something cool to look at.
It's so true. You can it's tangible. It's not going away. It's right there in your vault. It's in your gun safe, and you could every now and then you can pull it out and say, just look at it. Even if you just take it out and go, wow, look at that. Look at that engraving. Look at that. It's just amazing. the handwork. At a certain point, these transcend being guns and become works of art, don't they?
That's right. And, the letter that Mike had sent to you about the first Colt, it really wasn't the first Colt. It was the first factory engraved Colt. It was a Colt Patterson built in 1836, and it's the gun that Sam Colt took around to show his investors of the kind of work that he could do. And, that customer of ours spent huge amounts of money on that gun, but what a spectacular thing and he's been fortunate enough to leave some of those guns there for us to show the world, and kind of made our store kind of a museum in that. And we've been very fortunate to have some of the best come through there. But it's fun seeing those works of art with it. You take a gun that Sam Colt himself had his hands on, showing the people, this is what we can do. How cool is that?
No kidding. Before we run out of time here, I do want to at least let people know you still got the thing going. If somebody's got a gun or a bunch of guns or a collection or something, right, and they're trying to figure out how to sell them or what to do with them, and granddad's old guns, you're the place. You're my go-to place, that's for sure. Yeah, we can take care of that, Tom. We can come and travel. If you've got a bunch of guns, we'll travel anywhere in the country within a day or two of getting there to you. If you have 10 or 12 or whatever, we'll send shipping boxes with return labels with all the packing material in it and make it easy. And then we'll just have those guns picked up and shipped to us and, make that whole transition real easy on it. And the big deal is, if you've got an expensive gun, we're not going to try to steal it from you. We're going to tell you it's an expensive gun, and we're going to get you the most for it that we possibly can. There you go. Well, like people know by now, after my dad died, you're the guy I called, and we moved 250 guns, and you said, look, this is what they're worth. This is what I'm going to sell them for. This is what I'll give you. It was fair. Yeah. It was a good deal, and it made it easy. Yeah. That's what you guys do, right, Johnny. You make it easy.
Yeah, that's what we want to do, is just let people know that we're going to tell you straight on it, and that's all you can ask. And we've been very fortunate to have some good people trust their collections with us.
That's about what you can do. Hey, Johnny, thank you so much. I appreciate it, my friend. Check it out, DurysGuns.com. That's DurysGuns.com. Be right back with Open Lines.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Oh, man. I always love talking with Johnny Dury. Talk about a walking encyclopedia. One of the things I didn't mention, I had Johnny on at their website, Dury's Guns, DURYS, DurysGuns.com. They have tons and tons of used guns there. Now, here's the weird part, okay? In fact, I think he's nuts. They have a lifetime warranty on used guns. You're thinking the same thing I am. What? Can't do that. Yeah, all the used guns they sell, lifetime warranty. You go on the website, find what you want. You can buy it, it'll get shipped to you. For those who are saying, oh, buy guns on the internet. Yeah, if it goes across state lines, it's got to go to a gun dealer. And the FBI background check applies. Get over it. But yeah, it has a lifetime warranty. If it breaks, send it back to them. They have a team of gunsmiths. If they can't fix it, and I'm talking about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if they can't fix it, they'll replace it with something that works out. Unbelievable. Now, they've got used and new guns, of course, but the used gun sale is crazy stuff. They also have Class 3, which he said, the suppressors. So everybody's wanting suppressors now. All the manufacturers are bringing out guns with threaded barrels because of that. And once you start shooting them, you get it. You understand it. It's pretty fun. Line 2, Neil is in Nevada. Hey, Neil, help me out.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
So you had a caller earlier that was talking about you just a brand new RSO and an NRA instructor. You know, one of the things that he can do is work for the Boy Scouts for a summer at a Boy Scout summer camp.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. Because I was saying, volunteer somewhere. You just got to go spend some time. You can't learn how to be a good range officer or a range safety officer, if you prefer, any other way. You just have to go do it so you can see what people do and you can see how to react and all that. I love the idea of doing the Boy Scout camps. Have you done that?
Yeah, I've been doing it for the last 6 years. I'm going to a different camp this year, but this will be my 7th summer at a Boy Scout camp. Changing the face of gun ownership one scout at a time.
Wow, that is such a great idea. And let me just on a personal level, Neil, let me thank you for what you're doing, because you're exactly right. You're building future gun owners and building safe gun handling habits and practices. That is a wonderful thing. Great call. Thank you, sir. Jay, line 1, Eagle Point, Oregon. Hey, Jay, what you looking at here?
I'd like to know your opinion on a Ruger 380 to be carried concealed for self-protection. Do you think that's a good one to carry?
Any gun is a good gun to carry. The question becomes, are you talking about specifically the LCP, the little bitty 380 they have?
Yeah.
Yes. The LCP, one of the best descriptions of it from a guy at Ruger said, hey, this is the gun you carry when you can't carry a gun. And that's
really?
Pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, it's a teeny tiny gun, and it is very effective for what it does. It's not a long-range gun. It's not a real powerful gun. It doesn't have a lot of ammo. But if you can't carry any other way, then I would carry that. And there are times when that's what I carry. I have a recluse holster, goes in a back pocket, looks like a wallet, works really great. It's also, good point. Jim says it's also a great backup gun if you are carrying another gun. But, if I were going to say, gee, this is a gun I want to carry every day, if I had a way of carrying a little bit bigger gun and concealing it, that's what I would do. I would go with a larger gun. Larger guns are easier to shoot. I would want a 9mm over a 380 because it's got more power. I would want more ammo because more is always more and better. But as I say, sometimes I carry an LCP 380 and I stick it in my back pocket in a recluse holster, which I like very much. So, it's all personal opinion. The one thing I will tell you is this. If you carry an LCP 380, buy the very best high-end defense ammo you can buy for carry. Go shoot whatever you want to shoot at the range, practice all of that. But a 380 has less power, and so to try to make up for that, you want to get the best ammunition you can with good expanding bullets. I appreciate it, Jay, and I thank you for the call. Lee is on line 4 out of Reno, Nevada. Hello, Lee.
Hi, how you doing? Haven't talked to you in a while. I've got a question that is, I'm a little bit ignorant on this subject, and it has to do with what is taking place between private sales between individuals in July, such as my brother-in-law, if he wanted to buy a rifle off me, or if I wanted to buy a pistol off a friend.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to have to fill me in. What are you talking about?
Okay. As I understand it, that private sales between individuals will now have to go through a federal licensing through a shop.
Who told you that?
That's what I had heard is going to take place in July 21st.
I don't know that's. I think that was going to be on the ballot to be voted on in Nevada. And I don't live in Nevada, but I don't think that has been passed there, has it?
Well, there is going to be something on the ballot, and it will be at the same time when they're going to have the marijuana initiative, and that usually works out that when they got the people in voting for the marijuana, they want to get rid of the guns.
So nothing has happened. So no, as far as I know, there's no end to private sales in Nevada.
Okay.
I would encourage you to do a little bit more research on this. The whole this is what I heard or somebody told me almost never works out to be correct, and just a little bit of work, calling gun store or checking online, you're liable to find out what the deal is. But no, I've not heard anything like that happening in Nevada. I don't think that's correct. So I wish you luck with it. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Lee, but we got to go pick up David. Let's do this. Let's pick up David on line 3 before we hit our break here. Hey, David.
Hey, Tom. I got a new 257 Weatherby Magnum I just got. It's a Law
Nice.
Legendary Arms. And just what you wanted to think about that caliber and that brand.
Well, the caliber, I don't know the Law brand rifle, but the caliber is awesome. The 257 Weatherby is like, we always call it a laser beam. It is so fast. Man, that is a great caliber. I like 257s anyway. The 257 Roberts is great. The 25-06 is even faster. And then the 257 Weatherby is just terrific. Now, is this your first Weatherby?
It's not my first Weatherby caliber. It's in the Laws, but I had a 300 Weatherby in the past. Okay.
All right. So you're familiar with the Weatherby cartridges and kind of how they came about then?
Yeah. And I was kind of reading on it. Sounds like about a 117 is a good bullet weight for that. Although Weatherby makes a 110 and a 120.
Yeah, they're all flip a coin. Doesn't matter. 110, 120. The main thing is to get a strong bullet. That is a tough bullet if you're hunting with it, because you are pushing it really fast. Something on the order of a Nosler AccuBond or a Barnes Triple Shock TSX that will hold together when you hit something going really fast with it. Otherwise, and look, don't let anybody tell you that's not elk medicine right there, because that is a good elk caliber. People say, oh, no, 25 caliber, forget it. You can absolutely drive a good bullet right through the shoulders of an elk with that caliber.
The Weatherby actually comes with a 120 partition. I was thinking about the Barnes when I start reloading for it, but because, boy, they're pricey, but they use a partition and a 120.
Partitions are great. I've shot a lot of critters with partitions. If you get a chance, if you have any interest in it, there's a book about Roy Weatherby and the story of how everything got done. It's called Weatherby, the Man, the Gun, the Legend. And you can get a copy of that. It's available. I wrote it. There you go. All right, take a quick break here. We'll come back. Tom Gresham, this is Gun Talk.
Bigfoot gun belts, made with legendary leather and quality craftsmanship, are built to support the full weight of even the heaviest handgun. With a spring steel core embedded between 2 layers of rich English bridle leather, you'll never deal with a sagging belt ever again. Each gun belt is handmade with the blood, sweat, and beards of dedicated, skilled Pacific Northwest belt makers. Capture your gun belt for as low as $54.88 at BigfootGunBelts.com.
You like free stuff, right? You like good deals, and you want more guns, ammo, and accessories. So get all of that with the free, yes, the free smartphone app, Gun Dealio. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you'll get special offers and deals when you walk into a gun store. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Who wouldn't want that? Gun Dealio at the App Store and Google Play. GunDealio.com.
Here at SilencerShop.com, we normally focus on making the world a quieter place. Not today. Rule 41F takes effect soon, making silencer ownership more complicated. The good news is SilencerShop.com can help, but don't delay. Purchase any in-stock silencer by July 6th, and Silencer Shop guarantees to get your Form 4 submitted and execute your transfer before deadline under current rules, or give you $100. The Powered by Silencer Shop guarantee. Details and restrictions at SilencerShop.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to TimneyTriggers.com. That's TIMNEY Triggers.com.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends, of John Browning, the father of modern firearms, of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life, of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years, and the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns, the DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
Yeah, I mentioned the Weatherby book. Yeah, my dad and I wrote that book some years ago. It's called Weatherby, the Man, the Gun, the Legend. It's available at Brownells. We may still have a few copies left at shopguntalk.com. You might take a look at that. In fact, I haven't done this, so I may not be correct. But if you have the Gun Dealio app, look under exclusives on the Gun Dealio app and see what kind of deal pops up. I've been gone for a week. There's no telling what happens. You know, when the cat's away, the mice will play. No telling what they've done in terms of special offers while I was gone. So there may be a special offer where you can even save money on our various books and DVDs and things. So on your Gun Dealio app on your smartphone, the one that's our app, check out the exclusives and see what you find there. Let's see. Michael, line 2, Tioga, North Dakota. What's happening, Michael?
Oh, Tom, just thank you for taking the call and listen to you religiously. Appreciate what you do for gun owners. Just wanted to share with you, I've been involved with training and shooting and concealed carry for over 4.5 decades, and I get to hear a lot of your calls questioning what's the best concealed carry handgun. Yeah. I just wanted to offer to your listeners, because there's very little conversation that ever arises about these handguns. But one thing to consider, I own several of them and I love them, and those are cars. K-A-H-R.
Right.
They have managed to engineer
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they make a great line of guns, and they have some of the best small guns of anybody.
Mm-hmm. They do. And their customer service, Tom, I've dealt with their customer service a couple of times over the years. Absolutely phenomenal.
Have you seen what they're doing recently with some of these finishes? They got like a burnt bronze and a gold and some other. Man, that stuff looks good.
Yes, and they're actually starting to introduce a line of comp guns, or what a lot of the guys like to call race guns. They're actually offering those now, and I'm actually kind of anxious to try one of those.
The first time I really got a sense of car is one of the firearms instructors that I know, really good, top line self-defense guy, and 1911 guy and all that at the range, and asked me, what do you carry? He said, well, I'm just out and about. Yeah, he says, I got this little car, 45 ACP. Really? He says, yep, because I can carry it. It basically disappears. They're not lightweight. That's the other thing. They're not plastic guns. These are steel guns, and they feel like real guns. So you're getting a lot of gun there, don't you?
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that will impress your listeners more than anything, they are entirely made in the USA. True.
That's right. So, yeah, they've got everything from 380s up to 45s. Car, K-A-H-R, and literally KAHR.com. Pretty easy to find that. What calibers do you have in cars?
All of mine are 9s, Tom.
Interesting. Okay. And now I see, I'm just looking at their website. They've got some Cerakote models. They've really dressed them up and making them look great. Michael, look, thank you for bringing that up, because Car is a really good company, really good people. I know the folks there. They make good products. Would never, if somebody said, look, I want a car for my self-defense gun, I would go, attaboy, high five, go get them. Well done. Thank you for the call, sir. I appreciate that. So, all right, we got a few minutes left here. What do you carry? Let's just do a really quick, what's your everyday carry? Let's see how many calls we can get in real fast. Tell me what you carry and what kind of holster you use. That's all I'm looking for, okay? 866-TALK-GUN, what you carry and what kind of holster it is, all right? That's call me at Tom Talk Gun. We'll get you in. We'll do a rapid-fire version. What are you carrying? What kind of holster? I'll see you on the backside. Back with you. We're going to make this rapid fire, so we're going to get to them quickly. When I get to you, throw it out there. Line 1, Dennis, Wyoming. Dennis, what is it?
Hey, Tom. I
I was just listening about the guy with the 257 Weatherby, and
right.
I've got a 224 Weatherby Magnum. I just kind of wondered how come they quit making that caliber back in '94.
Two reasons. One is that the 224 is a 22 caliber going about 3,600 feet per second. We have other 22 calibers that go that fast. And the main reason, which is always the reason they stopped making something, is that people stopped buying it and they couldn't sell enough of them. Look, I appreciate it, Dennis. Thank you. That's a good cartridge, though. Don't worry about it. Ryan, line 3, Little Rock, Arkansas. What you carrying, dude?
Hey, Tom, carrying a Glock 27 Model 40 caliber and inside the waist with a Uncle Mike Sways.
Okay. That's working for you? Just a little inexpensive Uncle Mike's holster in that thing?
It is. I've tried a lot of the outside the waistband, the deep cover ones, but I keep going back to the old faithful there. It seems to be the most comfortable in the small of the back.
It's interesting how you figure out what works for you and you just stick with it, right?
Yes, sir. Do what you know.
There you go. Appreciate it, Ryan. Thanks, sir. Steve, line 4. He's in Arkansas. Hey, Steve, what you carrying, dude?
I'm carrying a SIG 9mm, and it's a little 6-shooter. I'm a double FT, so I need something kind of light. I carry it on a tactical belt with a Black Hawk holster. So it's
nice.
Quick reach. I can chamber it real quick, and my stability's not always there, but it's so easy that I don't worry about it.
All right, watch your 6, brother. You be careful. Greg, line 1, San Antonio. What's on your belt?
Hey, Tom, Glock 43 with a Galco. It's actually a pocket holster that I just kind of slip inside my True Spec pants there, and that's with me most of the time.
All right, there you go. A Glock 43 and a Galco. Ernie is in Oklahoma, line 3. Hey, Ernie, what is it for you, man?
I carry the Kimber 1911, the custom Crimson Carry 2.
Nice. What kind of holster?
I carried it with the Bianchi in the belt.
Okay, inside the waist belt. A full-size 1911.
Yeah, I'm kind of big.
All right, that'll work, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the call. All right, there's just a quick rundown. Let's see, what are we looking at? Holy cow. Glock 27 in a cheap Uncle Mike's holster, a SIG 938 9mm, blackout outside the waistband or inside pocket, Glock 43, little bitty guy, and a Galco, and then a full-size 1911. What does that tell us? It tells us pick the one that works for you. Pick the one that you can carry comfortably. Pick the one that, let's put it this way, the one you will carry. Because the best gun in the world doesn't do you any good if you don't have it with you. Any gun is better than no gun. What's rule number 1 of a gunfight? Bring a gun. Now, you're not looking for a way to use it, and I will do anything possible to avoid getting into a fight. But if I have to get into a fight, I want to have a gun. Which is really as simple as that. So, as you can see, there's no one right answer. And I'll guarantee you each of these people has tried different things and said, okay, that didn't work for me, that didn't work for you. I can do that. That's what you have to do. And people would say that's what you must do, but I say that's what we get to do because that's the fun part. All right, here's the deal. Take an additional class. Go get some additional training. We all can use some additional training, some tune-up, some other ideas. It gets your brain back where it needs to be, puts you in the right frame of mind. In the meantime, make the determination you will not be a victim. You're not going to let anybody hurt you or your wife or your kids or anybody you love. With that kind of mindset, you'll be safe. In the meantime, you always check your 6 and always carry.